Hi Libra, here is a general look at your solar chart for June 2015, and there's a real fiery, enterprising energy for most of the month, Libra, and this is an expanding time, a time to boost the spirits perhaps, and to see fresh possibilities outside of the box. Also opportunities to escape the daily grind, get out of the rut, try new things, be kind of experimental, really, I would say, particularly from the 6th onwards. We have a lot of emphasis on this area for you, and Mercury is there, and also Mars. And Mars is quite the adventurer in this area of the chart, and you will be reaching for new experiences, which is a good idea. So it's advisable to plunge yourself into something which is a bit different, really, I would say, is really, yeah, getting out and about into areas that maybe you're not that familiar with. It's definitely pushing the envelope, and getting out of that routine box, stretching yourself mentally and physically, maybe reading the sorts of things, material you don't usually read, or traveling, taking a trip, you know, just even if you can't take a long distance trip, then just going to those sorts of places that, you know, just taking a different route to and from work even. It could be, you know, minor or major, but within the parameters that you've got going at the moment. Mercury is in this area, loves this area. It's an area of much communication with others, but also principles, you know, belief systems, the political side of things, politically correct or whatever, but also the legal side of things. And some of you could be looking into that. Some of you could just be enjoying interacting with those from a foreign background, or just a different type of background to your own. Mercury does continue retrograde until the 11th, and this is the moment for you to get to grips with the minutiae of the bigger picture, because Mercury will just slow things down. It will tend to slow things down, and you could be able to see maybe the kind of the overall pattern, which you can get quite enthusiastic about, but then you see it warts and all, because Mercury is just that little bit slower. So that will give you the wisdom, really, rather than just the knowledge of how this thing is working for you. And then from the 11th, you will be better informed, maybe knowing the ropes better, maybe the paperwork, maybe, you know, that sort of boring side of things, the red tape side of things, and then you will be able to push plans through at the end of this retrograde. Or from the end of this retrograde, I could say. And also this area is to do with education. It's more to do with you being on quite a learning curve, but also you could be seen as the one who has the experience, who has the knowledge, and you are the one briefing others, or you are the one sharing that knowledge. It could be, you know, because we're always learning, of course, but it could be that you, on the one hand, some of you will be more the student, on the other hand, some of you will be more on the teacher advisor side. And then we have Venus, which is important. That's your ruling planet, helping to create more favorable circumstances with authority figures. Now this has been in there since mid-May, so it could be that you find yourself an ally, if you're listening to this in May, who is in a position to help you, maybe professionally or in business, a really useful link person, somebody that you just kind of click with, you have a rapport with, maybe you're cultivating that person a little bit, who is helping you up the ladder of success. It could be like that. So authority figures like bosses, and also parents as well. It could be, because this is a parental area, so it could be parents for some of you, or a parent, or a parental figure, shall we say. But also you could be seen as well as giving a friendly, more experienced helping hand to somebody who, in a kind of parental sort of a way. You could be seen like that as well, and helping somebody to achieve their goals. And then from the 6th, Venus moves, and this is quite a significant move, and I think it's going to be a very great help to you. Moves into a progressive area, which is the same place as Jupiter is, and will be there for many months. She will be there until October. And I think this means that you will tend to feel more supported within the group dynamic. So getting involvement within a group of some kind, whether it's, you know, train spotters or politicians, whether it's family or stamp collectors, just people who've got some kind of interest in common. And you could be making really good friends as well by the end of this transit, because there is, maybe just one really good friend, a key relationship, and you will tend to feel just that warmth of that support there. Team efforts are very well starred, and Venus is in a very socially aware but also helpful mood here, and everybody can sort of benefit, you know. And Jupiter's there as well, which is why it's kind of doubly favorable, and Jupiter is expanding your world in this regard also, saying to you, this is the time to really move forward in a more unconventional kind of a way, or in a more really sort of cutting edge kind of a way with technology. It can be with technology, it can be many things, because the transit is so long, so I'll probably come back to that. But you just get this very future-orientated energy with Venus and Jupiter there. It's a beautiful energy, and you could find that you can get the right sort of people on board for your enterprise, or for just, you know, your social life or your leisure activity, or whatever the heck it's about. This, you know, this is you within that organization or within that circle or within that tribe, really benefiting and really getting positive results. This is a kind of an area for you to cultivate anyway. Okay, and then we have the Sun, and the Sun moves to center stage. Sorry, the Sun moves targets and goals to center stage from the 22nd. So then you're going to be more kind of aligning yourself with responsibilities in the world, outer image, reputation, etc., etc. And just one more thing to say about the Venus-Jupiter position is that Jupiter is making a very beautiful aspect with Uranus in your area of opposite numbers, partners, and yes, bringing kind of frisson, a kind of an electrical energy of potential in there, which might be keeping you on your toes, because there's going to be surprises and you have to sort of duck and dive a little bit. However, it's again an energy of progress and expansion, and really taking maybe taking a leap into a direction that maybe you hadn't planned or hadn't really thought about, and there you are, you know, you're going along that road. So yeah, a very interesting energy for June. And then from mid-month and until September, Saturn returns to her previous position, marking a cycle of challenges related to the material, physical side of life. And this is a kind of a belt-tightening energy of Saturn. Then we get Saturn moving backwards. Now Saturn From mid-month, Saturn goes back into the position she held up until Christmas Eve last year. And she was in there for several months in 2014, which is quite a, you know, it's a belt-tightening position for Librans. Now, hang on a minute, it is that, but it's also lots of other things as well. Yes, it's true that you might have to be more, shall we say, circumspect with your resources. So that's money, that's property, that's possessions, that's equipment, that's, you know, your tools, but it's also your talents and the skills that you have to apply those talents into the right areas at the right timings, and disciplined effort, more disciplined effort, and sort of kind of plugging away at it will be necessary. So if it's mostly about finances, then that plugging away, trying though not to be too narrow-minded and too sort of cutting off your nose to spite your face, that would not be good. And for those of you listening in the UK, David Cameron has this one. You know, it is always a risk with this transit that we are too narrow-minded, we're just too blinkered about things to do with the budget, the financial side of things, and almost get obsessive about it, you know. I mean, in his case, because he's got almost an unaspected Mercury there, which means that he can get quite obsessive about it. So gradually this side of things is going to begin to take the shape that you desire. You've got just a little window in 2015 between 14th of June to September, right? So that's about 3 and a bit months. And this is where Saturn goes back into that area. So you finish off, you complete, you tie up the loose ends, and then you move on from September onwards into a new area for Saturn, okay, which she's just coming out of. And you Librans born the 23rd, 25th of September, or the 23rd, 24th of October, or with 0 to 2 degrees rising, or 28, 29 degrees rising, you will be feeling the energy of that the most this month. And then I mentioned Jupiter, but just a quick mention again. So you could be really growing through new associations here. And that can be lucrative for you as well, very much so. And also feeling more support there as well. You know, pitching in with those with a shared outlook, expanding your mind and your world and maybe your piggy bank over this period. Equally, you could be seen more as the enabler, the teacher, the guide, connected to key groups of others. Very much so. Jupiter is the teacher and also the advisor of the zodiac. And you Librans born the 8th to the 16th of October, or with 15 to 22 degrees rising, going to feel that energy the most. And also Jupiter is also the sort of planetary energy which loves to communicate across a wider stage. So it's maybe about promotional activity, maybe about writing and putting it out there in a bigger way. But also other arts as well, very much so. In fact, Venus and Jupiter in the area that I've described, for those of you in the arts and connected to the arts, this is an ace transit for you guys. Okay, so now you Librans born the 11th to the 15th of October, or with 18 to 21 degrees rising, going to feel the shaking up, the shaking off of the old leaves of Uranus, the winds of change coming through your life. That's from your opposite sign, Aries. And then Pluto, you Librans born the 6th to the 12th of October, or with 13 to 16 degrees rising, are going to feel the energy of Pluto evolving you and maturing you emotionally, but making you hyper, uber sensitive in the meantime. So just be kind to yourself and really try to listen to what your deeper inner knowing is telling you. It's not going to be the same as it used to be. This is a real defining moment, really. I say moment, I mean it kind of spans 2.5, 3 years. So yeah, so anyway, that's it for June, and I'll see you the next time. And also, if you know your rising sign or your moon sign, it might be worthwhile listening to those. And also, if you want to check up on any of this written, the written stuff, it's on my website. And I'll see you the next time.